Well of life, bless my heart with the gifts of Shabbat, the presence of your love in my pulse, your glory in my chest, and your wonder in my breath. Bless my eyes with the gifts of Shabbat, the beauty of the candlesticks, the Kiddush cups and chalot. Bless my lips with the gifts of Shabbat, rejoicing in song and prayer, our melodies ancient and new. Bless my ears with the gifts of Shabbat, hymns and praises, the nigunim of old, and blessed words of Torah. Bless my soul with the gifts of Shabbat. Oh, and thanksgiving, come and surrender. Beauty, righteousness, and peace. Let these gifts descend gently on all your people Israel, so that together, wherever we might be, in one voice, from the four corners of the earth, we sing, Boechem leShalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Elyon. Come in peace, messengers of peace, angels of the Most High. We start our service on page 128 with Ine Matov Umanaim.
How sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Ine Matov Umanayim Sheberachim Gam Yam. Ine Matov Umanayim Sheberachim Gam Yam. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem. ומנהלים שרת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנהלים שרת אחים גם יחד.
How wonderful it is for the siblings, for all of us to be together in this day, in this evening of Shabbat. We are going to begin our service on page 120, lighting Shabbat candles, and I'd like to invite Luan, all the women of the choir, to light Shabbat candles. Let's do something. Wait. Let's light the candles first. You know, sometimes we are so, there's a mitzvah that says that you need to rush in order to fulfill a mitzvah. And that's what happened here. We rushed to fulfill the mitzvah, but we forgot the mitzvah. So we lit the candles, and now, go ahead. Amen. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And with the light of these candles, we turn our Sidurim to page 129. We feel surrounded by the law of this Shabbat. We are on page 129 for Dodi Lee. We welcome Shabbat with a deep sense of thanksgiving and with a deep sense of joy. We turn our Sidurim to page 130 for Lechun Ranena La Adonai.
Lechun
We usually compare Shabbat with a bride. But it turns out that there are all kinds of brides. And brides, they come into the synagogues or the venues where they get married in very different ways. And that is why there are so many ways to sing Lecha Dodi. And did you get the connection, right? Yeah, you did. It's good. So we want to use the opportunity that we have the choir to learn a new melody. Very simple. Very simple. It's probably the simplest melody we ever taught you. So I invite you to turn your Sidurim to page 138. I think Lecha Dodi is right there. And now we are not going to use the words for a while. The melody is quite simple. It's an Israeli Yemenite melody. And we are going to tango it up. So, can you sing it with me? Don't sing that. So you got the first part. Let's see the second one, which is even simpler. Repeat with me. And now it sounds like repetition, but actually the sound repeats itself all the time. Let's say again. And we are going to try with the words. So you have your Sidurim open? Yes. Lecha Dodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela Shamor v'sachor b'dibur echad Tishmi'anu el am meyuchad Adonai echad ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת בהליטלה, Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת מקבלה, לי לקראת שבת לכו ונחה, כי מכל הברכה, קדם נשוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה, Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה, בני שבת מקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. Ori, ori, shir daveri, kevod Adonai, alaych nigla, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, alay b'nei Shabbat mekabela. לא תבושי, לא תבושי ולא תקרבי, מה תשכחי ומה תהבי. יחזו עניי עמי ונבנתה עיר אל תירא Lecha Dodi לקראת כלה בני שבת מקבלה בשלום עד תרד בעלה גם בשמחה ובצונה מתוך אמוני העם סגולה בואי כלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקרלה לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקרלה לילה 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 לך אדוני לקראת כלה בני שבת נקרלה. And as we welcome Shabbat, I invite you to welcome each other. You can look at the person sitting next to you or even far away from you and say Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos. Shabbat Shalom, Mevorach everyone. And we are going to turn our Siddur into page 140 to continue with the last piece of Kabbalat Shabbat, with the last piece of the first part of our Friday night service, Psalm 92 on page 140. Please join me on page 148. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe,
who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim.
And before we move into the Shema, I want to invite you to close your eyes just for a couple of seconds. There's an idea that says that we see better, actually, when we close our eyes. I'd like to invite you to think about something that makes you feel deeply loved. Try to picture that thought. And to bring it near your heart. Focus on your breath for a couple of seconds. Breathe in and out. In and out. Dear God, never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Oevamo, Israel. Shema Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 We are on page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם נאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אמן.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת, באמת מול הכל סוד וקיים עלינו, כי הוא אדוני אלוהינו, ואין זולתו, ואנחנו ישראל העמו. We continue with the silent reading over page 166. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Who is like you, O God? Mikamocha ba'elim Adonai. We are on page 158. Thus it is said, Adonai redeemed Jacob from a hand stronger than his own. Praise are you, Adonai, for redeeming Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Israel. So we are going to turn our Sidurim to page 160. We are going to sing about the most important element that we need in order to create internal peace. Let there be love.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkiveinu, Leshalom.
Ashkiveinu,
Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkiveinu,
Leshalom. Let there be love
and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
ברוך אתה אדוני הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. We turn our Sidurim to page 162. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת ויהי נפש, שבת שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. אותי לעולם. אותי לעולם.
We turn our Sidurim to page 146 for Tfilat Hamidah. As you rise, I want to 164. Maybe. And as we rise, I want to invite you to dedicate a couple of minutes to your personal prayer, to your tefillah shebalev, to the prayer of the heart, of your heart. You are, of course, invited to follow the words of our tradition, but this moment of Tfilat Amidah is an opportunity to have an open conversation with God, with your soul, with the source of all being. A moment for yourself. יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני, צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. We're on at the bottom of page 180 for Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom bimrova. Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen.
יושבי תבל, ואמרו, אמרו, אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו, ועל כל ישראל, ועל כל יושבי תבל, ואמרו, אמרו, אמן.
We turn our Siddurim to page 371. And at this point of our service, we dedicate a moment to acknowledge there are people that are dealing with illness in their bodies, in their souls. There are people that are dealing with addictions, and to wish them and to pray for the fast and complete recovery. If you have a name that you'd like to share in this night of Shabbat.
Bill Tabeth,
Together we raise a prayer on page 371, Mishe Berach.
Source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
To all of them, רפואה שלמה, בהחלמה מהירה, a complete and a fast recovery. Good Shabbos, everyone. I've never checked how, and I'm not going to do it now, but if any of you can remind it to me during the week that I need to check how it works, I would appreciate that. Always at some point in the middle of the service, I say to myself, and I just keep forgetting that. Okay, this is better. No, I think we are fine. We are fine. I think I checked that once at the beginning, and then I forgot. So just to make sure that we are talking about the same things, and I know that there are 2 people in the public that know the answer, or 3, actually. But what Torah portion are we reading this week? I knew. But that's 2. That's 4 people know. 4 people know. But actually we are reading 2 Torah portions. So we are going to discuss today Parashat Be'ar, and we are going to talk tomorrow morning about the Chukotai. So if you want to know what is in there, tomorrow at 10 a.m., you are welcome and invited to join us for services. But today we will be exploring Parashat Be'ar. וידבר אדוני אל משה בהר סיני לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת אליהם כי תבוא אל הארץ אשר אני נותן לכם ושבתה הארץ שבת לאדוני. And Adonai spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, saying, speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, when you come to the land that I am giving you, the land shall rest a Shabbat to Yah, to Adonai, the source of being. Rashi, the medieval French commentator, asks, מה עניין שמיטה אצל הר סיני? What special relevance does the subject of Shemitah, the release of the fields in the 7th year, have with Mount Sinai? Why does the Torah bring us all the way back to Mount Sinai in order to explain the laws of Shemitah? The classic commentators explain that unlike other laws that were enunciated on Mount Sinai and specified later on, the laws of Shemitah were given in detail already at the instance of the delivering of the Torah. But what's the point of remarking Dafka, precisely this part of the law? מה עניין שמיטה אצל הר סיני? What does the subject of Shemitah, the release of the fields in the 7th year, have with Mount Sinai? It turns out that there are things that seem to be very obvious for most of us. We usually know quite well what to do and how to handle objects. We know how to take care of our cars, especially here in California. Our property. We know where to keep our money. We know what to do with matter. We know how to recognize, treat, keep, generate, and yearn for matter. But matter is just a part of our world. Our own souls are metaphysical. And our souls yearn for intangible things and not for matter. The problem is that we don't even know how to seek for intangibles. The concept of Shemitah underlines the intersection between matter and metaphysical. One of the aspects of this concept is economic per se. The release of the debts, the slaves, and the land on the 7th year. And in addition, we learn about the Jubilee. After 7 cycles of 7 years, the land was to be released to its original owners. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs called it the economics of liberty, pointing out that the idea of Shemitah somehow regulates the tension that exists between freedom and equality. But there is another aspect to the concept of Shemitah. This aspect contradicts the very common belief that what we hold defines what we are. The verb lishmot in Hebrew, the word Shemitah and lishmot are the same? Good. Means to release. And actually, the places where we refrain from holding, the place where we consciously release, says a lot about who we are. But how do we do releasing? How can Judaism lead us into this spiritual practice of releasing? The last verse of this Torah portion says, "Et shavtotai tishmeru, umikdashai tiru ani Adonai." You shall keep my Shabbat and fear my sanctuary. I am Yah, the source of being. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel explains, unless one learns how to relish the taste of Shabbat, one will be unable to enjoy the taste of eternity in the world to come. It was on the seventh day that God gave the world a soul. And you know that. Ubeyom hashbi'i Shabbat by Nafash. And the world's survival depends upon the holiness of the seventh day. The task, he writes, becomes how to convert time into eternity, how to fill our time with spirit. 6 days a week, we wrestle with the world, bringing profit from the earth. On the Sabbath, we especially care for the seed of eternity planted in the soul. The world has our hands, but our soul belongs to someone else. We started paraphrasing Rashi's question, Ma'inyan Shemitah etzel Har Sinai. Why does the Torah bring us all the way back to Mount Sinai in order to explain the laws of Shemitah? Life can be overwhelming, and it is very hard to question our routine ways and practices. Sometimes we get lost in the eagerness to have, to achieve, to progress. Sinai is our meeting point. It is the reference that we use when we are lost. Sinai is the milestone that invites us to think about our values and reflect on how we want to live, how we want to exercise our freedom. And that's the topic of the holiday of Shavuot. Sinai is not a place, but a moment. Every Shabbat, we are invited to be in that moment, to reconnect with our foundations, and to praise what can't be created but experienced, and to embrace the wonder and the mystery of life. However, if our hands are just holding, we will miss the opportunity of having a deep connection with our souls, of enjoying the taste of eternity. We often ask, what can I bring for Shabbat? We try not to come with empty hands. But here is another idea. We should also ask, what can I release this Shabbat? How can I empty my hands in order to be able to embrace my soul? Shabbat Shalom. We continue our service on page 586 with Aleinu Leshabeach. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו כחמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובים מרומים. הוא אלוהינו עליון, אמת מלכנו אפס ולטוב, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשב אותה אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת. אין עוד ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
May be seated. At this point of our service, we dedicate a moment to acknowledge dear souls that with their presence transform our lives, and we deeply miss their physical presence today. If you are during the first 7 days of mourning, Shiva, please rise. If you are during the first 30 days of mourning, Shloshim, please rise. If you are during the cycle of the first year of mourning, please rise.
Maria Zelda Walker. Rosalind Goldsmith. Joyce Baker. Scott Talento.
We go over to Jacob.
If you have a yahrzeit this week, please rise. We also remember Rabbi Aaron Penken, who passed away a week ago. Now you can support our fellows while standing or sitting, joining us with your voices and your hearts for Mourners Kaddish on page 598. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דיברה חילותי, בהמליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולמי עלמיה. יתברך, בישתבח, ביתפאר, ביתרומן, ביתנשא, ביתהדר, ביתעלה, ביתהלל, שמי דקודשה, לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירם בעלמא באמרו אמן. יהא שמי רבה מבורך עלינו ועל כל ישראל באמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל באמרו אמן. May the memories of our dear ones be for a blessing. זיכרונם לברכה. You may be seated. So, before we conclude our service, a couple of things that we want you to know. So first, we're going to talk about the future. Let's talk even not about tomorrow, next week. Next week, we are going to celebrate the holiday of Shavuot. There are two things that you need to know about Shavuot. The first one is that we have is a wonderful holiday, and it is, as a matter of fact, a great celebration, and you got to get to TBT. The other one is that there is graduation in Cal State Fullerton. Come on, Mark. So you couldn't change. We'll try to change Shavuot next year. So there's graduation at Cal State Fullerton. So make sure that you come from the other side and don't go to State College. Just avoid State College. So we have at 4:30 we have an activity. At 4 we have an activity for children. 5:30 we start dinner and our dairy dishes contest. And we have blitzes and we need bakers for the contest. We need I remember yours from the last year. So we need competitors for our contest. So make sure that you let Miriam know that you are bringing a cheesecake, blintzes, or quiche. And you will join us. And at 6:30 we'll have a wonderful service where we are going to celebrate the holiday of Shavuot. The children will come into the sanctuary with fruits. Shavuot is the Chag, the celebration of the Bikurim, the first fruits that were brought to the great temple. So the children will bring to the great temple of Temple Bet Tikva some fruits, and it's a custom to read from the Ten Commandments. So we will read the Ten Commandments, and we wanted to install our board, but as a matter of fact, the vote is going to be a week later because they need to change that. So we are not going to install the board, but we are going to recognize those that are stepping up, and they are going to be our board of directors, and we are going to do the Wayfarer prayer. We are going to wish them success, even when they are not elected yet. So we are not installing them, but we can bless them, and we will. We are going to conclude with Havdalah, and after Havdalah, there is a tradition that we study Torah. So the tradition of studying Torah in the holiday of Shavuot comes from the idea of tikkun, of fixing the behavior of our ancestors, that when the Torah was brought to them, they were unable to receive it. And that's why the mystic tradition in Tzfat established that the night of Shavuot, we spend the night studying Torah. Here at TBT, we are going to spend an hour and a half of the night. But we are going to study some law, and we invited lawyers in our community to share their favorite laws. So some people already answered. So we're going to do, it's an hour and a half session. We have some American law, some Jewish law, and this session is called This is My Torah. And people will share some of the laws that are particularly or especially significant for them, and we will have the opportunity to discuss a little bit. So I think it's great. What? Yes. We'll have a short Easter service after the service. Last year, when we tried to do an Easter service for Shavuot, in the morning we discovered that not many people came. So for those that want to do Easter, we'll have a short Easter service before the study session, so you are invited and welcome to join us. Last thing, on June 2nd and 3rd, we have two important events. On Shabbat, June 2nd, we will install not now the board, but our incoming president, and we will thank and say goodbye to our president, who becomes the treasurer. But I want you to know something. Unfortunately, sometimes we have people that have different interests, and the board of directors sometimes repeats itself. But I want to tell you something. Our president, over the last 3 years, was here. No, 3 years. 2 years as a president, 3 years working as a very active board member, was here every day. I don't know many people that would stop their lives to be here every day. No, you might disagree. That's our thing. We disagree about over stuff. That's what Jews do. That's our tradition. But oh my gosh, you got to come to recognize our leaders, to wish success to Lawrence Simon, that at the age of 34 is becoming the president of this community. And I think that we are fortunate to have a young leader who's taking the responsibility over this group of vital people. And we are very fortunate that we had a president over the last 2 years and 3 years of working very hard here that was here all day, every day. So I truly encourage you to show with your presence your appreciation. And we also have the president of the men's club who is finishing his job. We also recognize you right now. I got your email today. How did you sign it? To be immediate past president or something like that. Soon to be immediate past president. So I think we need to recognize the efforts of our leaders and the hard work that they do. It's important. One more thing. On June, and we'll have an extended Kiddush after services, so make sure that you join us. On June 3rd, on Sunday, like the day afterwards, after June 2nd comes June 3rd. And you are right, Greg. On June 3rd, we'll have the privilege to host Rabbi Denise Eger, who is going to talk about inclusiveness in the Reform movement. Rabbi Eger is the senior rabbi of Congregation Kol Ami in Los Angeles, and she was the first gay president of the Central Conference of American Rabbis, and she's an advocate for gay rights, and it's a real privilege to have her here in our Being Human series. So I encourage you to be here. Those that were here for Rabbi Feinstein presentation were amazed. And it turns out that there are lots of wise people out there. And once in a while, we get the opportunity to have them here visiting. I encourage you to enjoy that opportunity. It's a privilege. So, Shavuot, remember Cal State Fullerton, come from the other side. Rabbi Lauren and Henry on the 2nd, and Rabbi Denise Eger. And that's it. So we are going now to conclude our service on page. Wait a second. Good. Okay. We don't have anything. So You are right. I have something with Adon Olam. So on page 625 with Adon Olam. Now, you can put your prayer books on the back part of our chairs, or you can stand in the middle of Adon Olam if you want to follow the words. So one of the two. So page 625, Adon Olam. French. Easy.
Adon Olam Asher Malach בטרם כל יציר נברא לעת נעשה בחסדו עשי מלך שמו נקרא עשי מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי ככלות הכל לבדו ימרוד נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא יהיה בתפארה והוא אחד והם שני להמשיכו להכפירה ולי להשיב ולי להחליט ולא העוז והמשרה ולא העוז והמשרה והוא עדי וחי גואלי וזוי חמלי והחמרה והוא ניסי ומנוסי מנת כוסי ויום אקרא מנת כוסי ויום אקרא בידו אפתיק רוחי ועת אישן והעירה ועם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא אירא אדוני לי ולא אירא.
May God bless us with the ability to release, to לשמות. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. May God bless us with peace. שבת שלום.
la 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 la